All right, welcome back. You know, when it comes to cognitive decline and keeping your minds young, prevention is key.
So how do you really preserve your memory as you age? Joining us now in studio for today's Kara's Cures is Dr. Jennifer Stagg, just back from an amazing conference. She's also the founder and medical director of Whole Health Wellness Center in Farmington. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thanks for having me.
I mean, you know, we all see those commercials all the time, Prevagen, this, that, things. I mean, are there things we can be doing that really keep our minds sharp as we start to feel like, I just am not as sharp as I used to be?
Oh yeah, for sure. And when we think about dementia now, we now know that this process is like decades in the making. So by the time you're having symptoms, you haven't probably done all the things you need to be doing to prevent it. So
you haven't been doing all the things.
Like we need to think about this like a long time before. So
like how long?
Like in our 30s and 40s, we should be thinking about like prevention.
No, it's never too late, right?
Starting to think about it.
Okay.
So we want prevention, but we talk a lot about sugar or blood sugar, and that's a huge factor.
That's probably the biggest thing. So controlling blood sugar and having good levels is really important for preventing the inflammation in the brain that actually causes these immune reactions that lead to dementia. So we used to think it was just this accumulation of plaque and who knows why it happens, but the concept around it has changed so much. All the neurodegenerative conditions of aging are a byproduct of inflammation in the brain.
And you say the weight loss drugs are a positive for this type of...
Yeah, so the GLP-1 class of medications, because it's helping to control blood sugar, is likely going to have a big impact on dementia rates as we move forward.
So that is why, like, diabetes also obviously puts you at risk.
Yeah.
Women, we're at a much greater risk, and as you head into menopause, it's worse because menopause actually affects your brain.
Yeah, exactly. So that drop in estrogen sets off inflammation again. So we're always thinking about what are the different factors that set off inflammation, and a decline in estrogen is one of those. And then that activates these immune cells in the brain, and then you start getting destruction of synapses.
What you mentioned lion's mane or some other thing? Are there things that we should be taking every day?
So there are. So first of all, like diet, that's key. So a Mediterranean green diet is really what we're talking about now, and that's something that's really rich in polyphenols. So
a lot of plants.
Lots of plants, but
and fruit.
Fruit is fine too, but things like green tea, right? Like we love our green tea.
Every day I tell him, okay, that's one simple thing, right? A cup of green tea could be a big deal.
Yes, so rich in polyphenols. So we think about that. And then supplements like omega-3s, all these things that can reduce inflammation, something called SPMs, that's a pro-resolving mediator. It helps with that inflammatory process. So, but you need to be doing that core work, right? You need to be taking care of your stress, sleeping well, all of these things matter, environmental chemicals. There's a lot that can be done.
We're going to take a deep dive, but I know it can feel overwhelming, and I love to give people like some action steps. So if you're going to do one thing, you said blood sugar is a big deal. I know you've told me part of it is, and it's changed the way I'm eating, start the morning. Don't have any sugar in the morning. I mean, maybe you're going to have some a little bit later, but try not in the morning because it can set you up to have a sugar response like a roller coaster all day.
Yes, exactly. So you start out with a solid, what we call low glycemic breakfast. So enough protein, really low in carbs. So if you were having, you know, eggs with vegetables, like a veggie sort of scramble, that's actually an excellent breakfast.
Okay.
You know, forgive me, I put a teaspoon of sugar, not a lot, a teaspoon of sugar in my coffee every morning. Is that bad?
I probably would try to drop it, but if you're having, so if you had that on its own, it would have more of an impact than if you combine that with
eggs.
Your protein. And
Okay.
your, like,
I
healthy
do
fat
I do my eggs and my turkey every morning.
Yeah, and then you would have, if you had it with the meal versus before.
Okay.
So try not to have
impact.
sugar on an empty stomach. Or if you are having carbs, they say don't have them naked, like put something on them, like, you know, you're having bread with turkey or something like that.
It buffers the effect of the carb on raising your blood sugar. So that's the number one thing people can be doing. And to prevent dementia, it's similar to some of the other things that you're preventing, the concept of what we need to do, right? Preventing cardiovascular disease, diabetes, all these inflammatory conditions of aging. Dementia is the same sort of pathway.
So when you see a naked carb, cover your eyes.
Yeah.
I don't want to be offended.
Okay, all right.
Thank you,
all right.
doctor.
We're going to talk more about some of the supplements like lion's mane, good fish oil, everything you need on the Kara's Cures podcast. Dr. Sag will be joining me for the latest cutting edge wellness on brain health. So thanks for being here. Thanks.
Yeah, it was really terrific. Very informative. I'm glad I'm on the weight loss drug too. It makes me happy. All right.
And for more news, we've got your Eyewitness News at 4 and your First Alert forecast coming up right now.